recently, as of 2024, no, 2022, that's when I became aware of my mind, of my consciousness, of my subconscious. That's when I had started basically looking into like manifestation and all like techniques and stuff. Now, I'm not gonna really give you like a whole thing on manifestation and stuff like that because I don't know that it ain't no like I'm not no real expert. I can recommend some manifestation people that I watch on YouTube. One of my favorites is Neuro Knowledge. I like that. I like the other one. Another one is like that Full Ivan or something like that. They're kind of like the same in my personal opinion, but they do teach very good knowledge. But I feel like I want to talk about like how change and manifestation kind of go hand in hand and why it's really needed for you to manifest your dreams. So for me, like I said, I started becoming aware of like manifestation and subconscious and conscious thoughts and how they all kind of scope your reality around 2022. Now, just this year, I've been like a little bit deeper into it, but 2022 is when I really start like actually getting into it, like just the base work, like the frames and stuff. That's when I start like learning all about the techniques. I'm not really a technique person no more. I kind of just do the simple stuff, which is affirmations, visualizations, feel it, and then just live my life, you know. But um, one thing I have learned with like manifestation and change that they go hand in hand. For you to manifest anything you want in your life, you're ultimately gonna have to change the way you think about that desire or think about yourself in a manner. And let me give you like a couple examples. So when I first was like last year, last year, my one of my biggest desires was to meet my soulmate. And it wasn't for like no particular reason. I really just wanted to manifest them just to see if I could because I've never manifested stuff like that. Like I've in the past I've only manifested um things on like a smaller scale, and I put emphasis on smaller because if you know anything about manifestation, big and small don't really matter as long as you know it's all just the same anyway. But around that time I was doing like quick manifestations like trying to get a dismissal from school or stay home from school. A lot of it had to do with school because I just like that was my last year of school and I just could not do it. I did not want to go there. But um around let me see, around like January and maybe like a couple months before that, that's when I had to start like actively start thinking about manifesting my soulmate. Manifesting my soulmate. And let me say, it wasn't easy. If I'm being honest, I really couldn't remember half of that shit because when I was doing like the techniques and shit, I was high. I was high out of my mind, like so for real. So, but what I can remember, I remember like I would sit in my bed and this is like kind of embarrassing to say out loud, but I would sit in my bed and I would think about like, okay, if my soulmate was in my bed with me, because you know, if I have a soulmate and I obviously love my soulmate, then I'm gonna want them to spend the night, sleep in bed with me. Like, how would I feel with them sleeping in bed? How would I feel with them knowing that they're gonna spend the night? So, I would think thoughts such as like how, like, not even just how you would feel, but more so like, okay, think about like as this actually happened. Like, okay, I'm gonna go to my boyfriend's house tomorrow. That's why I literally tell myself, even I ain't had no boyfriend, I didn't even know nobody, I didn't even, baby, I wasn't going to nobody's house, you know. But these are thoughts I would constantly like tell myself. And I think a lot of times when I think about manifesting, I always try to think back on like the previous things that I manifested in my life and then try to like see like those techniques because I remember like the two of the biggest things I remember was like affirmations was my big thing because around that time around that time I was getting to like heavily into weed for some reason. So I would, and of course I didn't have the money for this habit. So what I would do is just try to manifest it. I would be like, I remember there's like this one thing I would say, and it worked every single time without fail. I low key wanted to make a video on it like years ago because I was like, bruh, this shit works so well. But I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna make a video. But it was an affirmation. Like I can't even remember. I just remember that it rhymed, and that's how I kept. Like anytime I wouldn't have anything on me, I would say it, and then it the weed become my desire become. And I think it's because you know I put weed at such a low level. It's something that you can get it from anywhere because like I knew everybody was smoking, so I knew I can get that shit from anywhere. So that's definitely something that just didn't like rain on my mind. But it made me think about like all the other things I manifested in my life, like manifested getting the soulmate, manifested graduating in high school. I mean that shit's gonna happen anyway, but you know I really manifested because I didn't really think it was gonna happen. Um, really didn't manifest getting no new friends the way I wanted to, and mainly because I didn't know how to do that. I probably won't try to do that later, but the whole thing with manifestation that I have learned is that there is no particular technique or thing that will get you to your desire quickly. I've learned about manifestation that, and I know it's like something people keep repeating, but I've learned is you really have to be already in that state of mind. I don't think people emphasize that enough, and if they do, at least in my personal opinion, I didn't get that shit, you know. So I'm gonna try to like break it down for me to make sense. But when you're manifesting and you're in that state of mind, what people don't tell you versus like when you're first manifesting, it's not about your thoughts. It's not like, yes, your thoughts play a role in it, but it's not about your thoughts. It all comes down to your emotions. That's the biggest basis of it. And I hate when I watch those videos and people like, your emotions don't matter, baby. They do. They also do. They matter so much. But it doesn't matter in the way you think. Like, you can't just, wake up and you're mad about something and then be like, oh yeah, like, let's not be mad, let's be happy. Like, girl, no. That's toxic positivity. I'm not gonna preach that shit. But what I can tell you is that, let's say something happened and it made you irritated, it made you angry, it made you upset, whatever. Instead of, like, allowing yourself to dwell on that anger, feel anger. Feel, like, I'm not telling nobody don't be angry. Be angry. If it made you angry, allow yourself to be fucking angry. I think shoving down that anger and trying to force it to be positive is even worse than just feeling the fucking anger, But one thing I've learned in manifestation is that you can't dwell on that same emotion, especially if you don't like the emotion. Like, if you're always angry about something, always upset about something, you can't allow yourself to dwell on that emotion and let it become the running, what's the word I'm looking for? The running character of your life. You can't allow it to become the main thing that holds you over. You know what I'm saying? Because some of y'all, like, I remember when I used to work at Zaxby's, and like, anything, like, fast food is in itself is just like a lot. But when I was working there, I remember, like, there'd be days where I was just constantly, like, every fucking day, just come home mad because they would just piss me off so much. But when I had stopped, like, allowing one moment, one interaction to fuck up my whole day, because that's all it is. It always starts from that one interaction, that one interaction, that one thing someone says that just fucks up your whole day, and you allow that fuck up to just seem. And it's crazy because it's something you don't really realize, but it's something that you have to be hyper aware that it can't happen. And I remember the first time I became aware of it, and I was like, whoa, why am I still thinking about it? Because it's like, let me tell you something. When something bad happens, or something like a particular moment in your life where you're not aligned with it, you don't fucking like that it happened. Like, let's say, you was working at your job and someone cuts you the fuck out for no apparent reason. And of course, that makes you upset. Validly so. But instead of allowing yourself to be upset about the whole day, about that moment, instead of allowing those thoughts to keep ruminating in your head, stop it. Allow yourself to be upset. Give yourself about 5-10 minutes to be upset. At most, I would say 15. But really, it should never go over 5 minutes, because I feel like once it hits that 5-minute mark, you're thinking about it too long. So I say allow yourself to be upset about it, but gently shift your thought into, like, you know what? It already happened. What's the point of me being upset? That's why I tell myself, like, whenever thoughts like that would keep ruminating, like, why that motherfucker spit to me like that way? And I think funny enough, it's like when that one bad interaction happened, it's like a bunch of shit just follow along behind it. It's like a fucking domino effect. Like, a bunch of people would just start being so annoying and aggravating. Like, even people like your coworkers would just be so annoying and aggravating to you for some reason. But it's really all your perspective. It's the way you're allowing your emotions to cloud your judgment. You're allowing your emotions to cloud the fog, Or you're allowing it to fog up your mind. When really that one moment should never be longer than 5 minutes. I remember I was talking to my neighbor one time, and she said something that really was profound to me. She said, it's only just a moment in time, Kiana. It's just that one moment. It's not going to be the end of the world. You're not going to die. It's just going to be a moment in time. That's all it is. And that's how you got to think about it, especially when things that happen and it don't go your way. You have to think about it as it's only a moment in time. It's not going to stay there for only if you allow it to stay there forever, but it's only a moment in time. That's all it is. Just a singular moment in time. And time flies. So you only have to remember it by tomorrow if you don't want to. But if you choose to keep remembering, then that's what's gonna keep popping in your head. And I know people are like, well, how the fuck do I choose not to remember it? It's about giving your space. It's about giving yourself that space to be upset. I'm not saying don't just, I don't want people to like just take it and be like, okay, like I don't want people to take this as a way to be like, okay, well I can't. She says I can't be upset, so I'm just gonna try to shift my mind to being happy. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if something in your life happens where it's not something you particularly agree with, or it's bringing up emotion that feels a little bit negative, something you don't want to feel, allow yourself to feel that emotion. That's the best thing you can do for yourself is feel that emotion. And then only after you felt it, you recognize where it came from, then you let it go. You let it go because there's no point. You tell yourself, you know what, this really made me fucking mad, but you know, this is a moment in time. I'm not gonna keep allowing it to make me mad. You literally say that to yourself. And watch how fast like those thoughts would just naturally start to disappear. Don't fight with yourself. Don't argue with yourself. Just declare. Gently declare to yourself and be like, I'm not gonna allow this to get me upset no more. I'm not. Even if you gotta keep repeating that shit in your head, I'm not gonna allow that shit to get me upset no more. So it's like that's what I mean when I say like manifestation and like changing yourself, they're kind of intertwined. Like for you to manifest your desires, you have to be willing to change some things about yourself. You have to be willing to recognize and be aware of some of the things about yourself. And I don't think a lot of people really know how to do that, you know. And it's crazy because like, you know, before I was ever aware of manifestation, I used to feel like the world constantly beat me up. Constantly, like, I used to think the world fucking hated me because I was like, bitch, why the fuck am I the only one who's getting all this shit happening to me? Like, I don't understand. But then I remember when I first came across like the videos and books and shit about manifestation, and like someone was like, and this is when I was like kind of early into like the manifestation community, like when they was telling you all about the techniques and shit and all this, every fucking guru popping up every fucking where. But I remember like one thing that the manifestation community taught me that I feel like that applies to everywhere in your life. Damn, what did they say? Fuck, I literally had it in my head and I forgot just like that, bro. That's crazy. Damn, what did they say, bro? Cause they always say this one thing that I feel like, I ain't gonna lie, like I feel like, okay, it's good, but it's gonna come back to me. Cause I don't remember. But for you to manifest, you have to be willing to change some things. You have to be willing to let go of some things. I remember when, like I said, when I was first, or like early into manifestation and like learning about it, I remember this one book that I read. I actually, like, I'm gonna put it on my phone because it was this, it's called The Last Law of Attraction. And let me go my books. Let me show y'all. Cause like, this is such a good book. I love that book. I need to reread it, but okay, don't pay attention to nothing else. But hold on. You see that like the black part, the last law of attraction book you'll ever read. Let me tell you, that book, it says something in that book has said something to me, and it said a lot of people somewhere in that book, I don't remember what chapter it was, but I remember I read it and it changed my fucking life forever. It said a lot of people are addicted to feeling the way they feel. A lot of people are addicted to being guilty, to feeling guilt. A lot of people are addicted to their bad emotions. And I feel like when I had read that, let me say, my fucking life changed forever. I remember I read that and it's like a fucking light bulb just went off my head. I'm like, bitch, that's me. That's me that feels that way. That's me that be addicted to guilt. That's me that be addicted to my own victimhood. That I be addicted to being a victim because I liked it at that time. I liked it. Liked it. People pitying me because it made me reinforce the idea in my head that the world hated me. So I needed people to pity me because the world hated me. I liked being a victim. And when I recognized that, I was like, oh my God, there is some change that needs to happen. I don't think, and I'm not going to shame people if that's who you are now. I think it's better if you become aware of it now versus going through your whole life unaware. And it's like, I'm not going to say you're constantly a burden on people, but you're constantly kind of a problem for people because you always got shit going on in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna lie, don't nobody want to deal with a person that always has something going on in their life. Like, it's one thing to just have shit come up because life is life, but you always have something going on that's just negative. There's something you're clearly doing, something you're fucking up in your mind that you're not taking the time to become aware about. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like when I had that awareness, it was like damn, you need to slow the fuck down. You need to become aware of yourself. You need to stop trying to be a victim. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not like it's a one-day process. It's not like, okay, I became aware of it and all of a sudden I stopped becoming a victim. That's not how that worked. It was a day-by-day process. It was It was from me talking to people, seeing how I acted in certain situations. You know, like, and when I became aware of this, I had this feeling as people like, am I like this? And you believe how many people told me, yeah, you kind of are. You kind of did act like a victim a lot, and a lot of times it was annoying, and that was just the truth. But I had to realize to become like becoming aware of yourself is the most greatest gift a person in anything your mind can give you is becoming aware of yourself, aware of your thoughts, aware of your emotions, aware of the way you navigate the world. Becoming aware is the best thing that was ever gifted to anybody on this earth, because everybody has the potential to become aware, but a lot of people don't want to become aware because if it because becoming aware means having to look at yourself and kind of your reality that you created for yourself. It means coming to terms with like, damn, I have a responsibility for all of this. And I think that's scary for a lot of people. I know it's scary for me because it's like you don't want to have to come to terms with like, damn, oh, come in. But I think it's scary because a lot of people don't want to have to come to terms that that they have fault in their reality. They're the main cause of their reality. I'm not saying like a lot of things are, but I think it's scary for a lot of people because they don't realize that they don't want to, and if they do, is it's more so about the emotions that would hit you. I don't think a lot of people are ready for that brief emotion of responsibility to hit you. To know that like I'm responsible for creating my reality. I'm responsible for the mask that I decide to put on people. I'm responsible for the way that people kind of treat me. And look, I'm not gonna get into the whole thing about how people treat you because I know some people can be shitty, but I the only thing I'm simplify that is that you give a mask to each and every person. I read countless videos, read crazy amount of books. So I'm not gonna be the one. Like I said, I'm not gonna be one of those people who's gonna try to get you into it and give you an explanation. If you want that, go to Neuro Knowledge or that fool Ivan. They will give you all the tea that you need to know. But I know from videos I have learned from those too, you give a mask to everyone you meet in your life, and that particular mask will determine how they treat you. If you don't like the way they fucking treat you, then change the fucking mask, my guy. Put on a different fucking mask. If the mask you put on, this is okay, like, for example, the mask I put on my dad is that, no, I ain't gonna talk, I'm gonna do my mom. The mask I put on my mom was that, mom is always fussing at me, my mom's always nagging at me, and guess what happened? She's always fussing, she's always nagging. But when I put a different mask on her, and I said, okay, well, my mom's not always fussing, and if she does it out of care. My mom's always trying to help me, my mom's always doing this. When I gave her better qualities that I would want to see, not only myself, but in other people, and how the way the world treated me, then that's the treatment I started to get. I started to get I didn't really get nagged, but I got fussed at out of love. Like it wasn't just fussing just to fuss, it was fuss out of love. We started to become more closer. We started to become kind of like damn near like best friends, you know what I'm saying? So it's like when you become aware of like how you can change your reality, it's the best feeling in the world, but it's also a intimidating feeling because it's like anything that you do, think, or feel in that moment can really potentially change your fucking life. Like it really can, and it can either change it for the better or it can change it for the worse. But one thing that I really realized in manifestation, that it all depends on your state of mind. It doesn't matter what fucking affirmations you say to yourself. What if you say I'm wealthy every day in the fucking mirror and you don't feel wealthy? Guess what? You're just not gonna be wealthy because why? You don't feel wealthy. Your state of mind is still on I don't feel wealthy. I don't feel like I have enough. I don't this. I don't like. Your state of mind is still focused on I don't. So when you change that to I have, I will, or I'm getting, I don't know, it's like better things kind of start approaching for you. Like even now, like every day I wake up, immediately, as soon as I wake up, I tell myself I'm abundant. I smile and say I'm abundant. Even sometimes, like when I first did it, I did not feel abundant at all. Like literally just yesterday, I was crying because I don't even know if I'm gonna have enough money to pay the rent or to buy the things that I really want to, buy for myself. But I allow myself to feel those emotions, but I stopped myself from dwelling on those emotions. I said, okay, that's fine to feel that way. But in the day, know this, Kenyatta, we are abundant. We do have a lot in this world, and even if we can't see it yet, even if it's a little unhidden, even if it's a little hidden, even if it's kind of hidden behind something, it's there. You just gotta see it. So, I don't know, it's like, when you really start having those, when you really start becoming aware in your life, it opens up a door for so many new opportunities. So just, be aware, become aware in your life, but don't make it so you have to like push yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just little things in your life, like even if you're just aware of like, okay, I cuss too much, because that's something I do. I'm aware that I literally cuss way too much, but I allow myself to do that. I don't shame myself for being like that. I just make it a goal to be like, all right, let's start cussing less. Let's stop, making every conversation we have, people gotta be a cuss word in there, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, becoming awareness is your best friend, but for that awareness to happen, you gotta be willing to change. You gotta be willing to give up in that moment and accept all the responsibility in this life, not all, but you know what I'm saying, like just accept the responsibility that you had a part in creating a reality that you either did or didn't want, you get what I'm saying? But I think that's all for today. I really want to talk about, I just wanted to post this video before I had to go to work, and yeah, so I appreciate you if you decide to watch this video all the way through. I really appreciate you for sitting with me and listening to me as I talk, whether you put me on the background or whatever, but I just appreciate it. So I will talk to you guys and see you guys later, and that's it. Bye.